Hi there, welcome to Help Solve the Case. Today I'm talking to you about the Alex Murdaugh case. Some information came out related to DNA and new testing. If you don't know, he is getting a new trial. And so the defense team has already gone to work to do new things in the case. Some motions came out, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. So first of all, thanks for being here, helping support our mission to identify the unknown human remains. We've got over 15,500, and we've got hundreds of thousands of cold cases, which we can help with DNA. Some of the techniques that I'm going to talk to you about today. So thank you for being here. Now, I tried really hard to find the motion. I cannot find the motions. I'll work on that later, but I did want to get you this information and let me know if you like the layout. Okay, so here's the big news here. Alex claims unknown male DNA was under his slain wife's nails. Okay, so we're going to go through two articles and then I'm going to talk to you about it. Okay, so his conviction was overturned due to the jury issue, shenanigans reported with the jury. Okay, so now helpful for the defense and the prosecution when they go back to trial, they're going to know exactly what the other case had. Okay, they're going to know the team, they're going to know the evidence, they're going to know their strategy. Now, is it going to stay the same, right? As a prosecutor, as a defense attorney, you have to say, are they going to follow the same tactics? Are they going to do stuff differently? Kind of hard to gauge the offense, shall we say. So one of the things here is they said, and I apologize, this is just from Court TV and the news. I could not find the motion. They have filed, it says highlighting DNA evidence. The motion requests an order that requires prosecutors to produce DNA evidence for independent laboratory review. So what that means, I'll probably just talk about it here because I don't want to forget about any of these critical details. Typically, in a criminal case, the defense can go and examine the evidence. So I'm not sure why that was not done during the first trial. We talk about how much DNA did they have, how much DNA was preserved for the defense, what are they going to be able to do with it, okay? So I'm not sure why that I didn't follow the first trial. I'm not sure what happened there that they didn't look at the DNA. So it says the defendant claims that DNA collected from under Maggie Murdaugh's fingernails at the crime scene was, quote, from an unknown and unrelated male, end quote. So I'm assuming there that they've done some STR testing, at least interim elimination testing, to make sure that it is unrelated, okay? While Alex Murdaugh's defense says no further analysis was performed on the sample, his team feels it could be crucial to proving their client's innocence. Okay, so under her fingernails, that is usually what they talk about bagging and tagging hands, okay? And scraping the fingernails is very commonplace, pretty much a must do when the autopsy is done. Okay, the bagging and the tagging for gunshot residue, depending on the type of case, and scraping the fingernails for stuff under there. So we've talked about in other videos why I feel like, why would you leave some unknown DNA hanging? We talked about that in the Koberger case, right? Like, why would you, me as a cop, I would be like, man, I want to know who that is because I don't want to arrest the wrong person. And I want to feel comfortable with my case. I would hope that the prosecution would do the same thing. I don't even know why it wasn't tested in the first case from the defense or requested from the first case from the defense. Maybe it was and they got turned down, which would be weird. But that's like, what do they say? Low-hanging fruit. Okay, for some other dude did it. Okay, they call it the sod defense. Some other dude did it. Okay, so let's keep going. The motion says that his team has been in touch with Oprum The same company whose investigative genetic genealogy technology cracked open the case against Brian Koberger. Now, what do we know about that? Is that what we read and what was reported on in the Koberger case? I'm very surprised that that statement is there. Okay. We're going to leave that there, and you can let me know, do you feel that the Koberger case was cracked open by Othram? I personally don't. I'm surprised at that statement. Okay. Now, it says the company believes it can conduct a thorough analysis of the sample, quote, but the testing takes considerable time and a, quote, rush, end quote, order would be needed, end quote. Okay. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Okay. I think they said, they're doing his retrial next year. So I'm not sure. It typically takes 4 to 8 weeks, depending on how convoluted the DNA is. If they got a sample that was good enough for STR, they should have good material. I'm guessing. So I'm not sure what the rush is. Money, money, money. And when they need it by, right? Because obviously you don't want to go to trial with an open question, okay? Because if that is going to change the direction of the defense, you want to know that, right? Okay. You want to plan for that and you want to use it. So they're definitely, I'm assuming they're not going to go for trial until they get this information back. Now, they filed it. We don't know if it has been approved, but I think they would be hard pressed not to let the defense do their thing on it. Okay. It also says, move the retrial out of Colleton County. And let's see. So it says it encompasses Allendale, Beaufort, Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties. The Murdaugh name has been synonymous with the local legal system. Probably some good things raised there. They also talked about having him appear in normal clothing. This says at future hearings, but typically at hearings, that's unnecessary. It's mostly for the jury. Okay, the prosecution is apparently saying, quote, the first 2 steps of any escape attempt are to become unrestrained and to get into civilian clothes, end quote. Okay. They pointed to 2 instances in 2023 of disciplinary actions behind bars to say that Murdaugh, quote, has demonstrated he will break the rules and circumvent security if given the chance. What do you think? Do you think that he would do that? They said they were withdrawing their request. He doesn't want to create a distraction for the court or even for the state. I don't think it's necessary at hearings. Okay, and let's see. The other article here says most of the same thing. Okay. Emerson said the defense wants to send the samples to a specialized lab in Texas for further testing, including work that could involve genetic genealogy. Emerson also described the difference between searching the FBI's CODIS DNA database and using broader genetic genealogy tools, saying the Texas lab has 500,000 data points that they're looking at. So, it also says here the renewed focus on DNA comes as the defense continues to suggest someone else may have been involved. Emerson interviewed a Murdaugh housekeeper who said, quote, he definitely had help, end quote. The housekeeper added, quote, the cleaners. I call them the cleaners, end quote. But quote, but you know who the cleaners are, end quote, Emerson asked. Quote, I have a very good idea, end quote, she responded. Emerson said the defense would need evidence to pursue a third-party defense at trial and suggested the DNA issue could be part of that effort. That's the sod defense. Some other dude did it, or some other dude-et did it. Okay, the next pretrial hearing is scheduled for August 14th, and I thought it was going, okay, April 5th. So, it should not take that much time. It should not take that much time. Now, one of the things that we could do is I have this Y strike method that would be able to tell the ethnicity and potential surnames of the DNA at the STR level. Okay. So we don't need to spend all that money and waste all that time. We could get a pretty good idea if they have suspects of potential co-defendants or whatever. That's something that we can do in the interim. I'm trying to bring this information, this technology online to more police departments across the United States. So that is something that could be done. We could get a quasi answer like immediately. Okay. We get the ethnicity, we can get a little bit of a general physical description from the ethnicity makeup, which we most often see, and we can get some surnames. So that would help rule people out. Okay. For instance, like this, she knows who the cleaners are. Uh, there could maybe be some um, private conversation or whatever, doing some elimination, see if it fits in with the theory, at least as we wait for forensic genetic genealogy. So I thought that was very interesting. We'll see what happens. To my understanding, according to my assistant, the motions have not been approved. And I will look for that so we can take a look at the actual documents because I love looking at the documents. I did go to the clerk's site, but it did not appear that they were public. So I'm not sure how the news is getting them, but I will work on that. If you happen to know where the Murdaugh repository for the pleadings are, let me know, post below, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel. We've got so many people to identify. I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Cannot do it without you. Thank you for being here. Please let me know in the comments what you're thinking, what you would like to see. I'm going to be scheduling more lives, doing more things, and I'll see you on the next one.